All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. Oh, sorry. I talked over Amanda for a second.
All I said was hello.
Oh, well, hello, Amanda. Welcome to Ellen Explains It All. This is the show where I demystify AWT myths and rumors with our executive director, Amanda Chin, and try my best not to talk over her. Before we get started, I usually like to ask Amanda a little warm-up question. So, Amanda, who is a performer that you really respect or enjoy?
Okay, well, as is the answer to most of the questions you pose to me, like recency definitely
Mm,
like plays a part in my response. So yesterday I went to see for the first time Schitt's Probe. Have you heard of it or seen
I
it?
haven't heard of that. What is that?
It's um it's a show that's like basically a fully improvised musical. So like they get prompts from the audience and it's like a cast of like five people plus one special guest who's a Broadway performer, different guest every time, making up a musical on the spot. So that got me like really like deep diving today into some of like my improv favorites. And so I'm really like I like follow I get all the TikToks of like Ben Schwartz and Friends and his long
Mm,
form improv program. And also, one of his frequent collaborators on that show is a woman named Jess McKenna, who has hosted for years now a podcast that is also like an improvised musical podcast. So I went back and listened to some older episodes, and I highly recommend looking up any of those things if you like improvised musicals, or just generally a good time.
nice. I have to check that out. That sounds exactly my shit. So,
Yeah, yeah,
to look into it.
totally.
Cool. Well, today's topic is very exciting. It is AWT's move to Discord and community management in general. I personally recently used Discord to manage a show that I directed outside of AWT. So I'm very excited about all of this, the move, answering questions, all of it. Just as always, if I skip your question, it was probably a repeat or more relevant to a future topic. In the same vein, your question may have ended up reworded for logistical reasons. No tea, no shade, ever. Alrighty, well, we got some great questions, so let's dive in.
Great. I'm excited.
All right, question one. What are some Discord features you're looking forward to implementing? And I have an answer for this.
Hear your answer.
Yeah. So, as anyone who was in the show I just directed knows, I love adding everyone to get like important news out, schedule updates, just to really make sure that like everyone sees it. Obviously, you have to tread lightly with that, which I'm not the best at. But I think it's a really great way to get important news out quickly
Yeah.
within reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that feature also exists in Slack, and I like using it
Mm,
there. And a lot of and for those who maybe are less familiar, that is atting, like at
mm.
symbol ing, not adding. And it's a feature we're all going to learn pretty soon.
Yes.
So my answer is maybe just like a little bit of a higher level answer without getting into like the nitty gritty of like specific features. And I will also start by saying I would say my level of familiarity with Discord personally is probably now like 3.5 out of 5. I mean, 3.5 out of 10. Sorry.
I was gonna
Um,
say out of five, that's not bad.
yeah, that's really good. No, also known as 7 out of 10. The 3.5 out of 10, it was like 3, but as I keep like researching how we're going to make this migration, it improves a little bit. But I know enough to be dangerous. I think the my favorite features that I'm most looking forward to, or category of features, I guess is a more accurate way of saying it. One, I think the usability of Discord like will centralize a lot in terms of like our
Mm,
communications and how we interact with people by really kind of bringing together the current ideas that we have around groups, chats, And like I'll add in like another feature, which is like there's really highly capable streaming
Mm,
capabilities, highly functional streaming capabilities. So like maybe there's even a way to stay connected if you have to miss rehearsal. I'm not saying
mm.
any of this is actually going to happen, but like the possibilities are there. So the fact that it's like a little bit more centralized is really interesting to me. The next category is like around privacy. Now, I think Facebook groups and everything that happens on Facebook, like I would say rank the privacy pretty low. And I wouldn't even also say like by design, like Discord also has great privacy. But what it does have is like your personal ability to separate like all of your information and keep it out of our Discord server. So like if you're in a like currently if you're in a Facebook group, like now someone can click on your profile and like kind of have
Yeah.
access to like a lot of other information that you kind of want to be engaged with in social media, but maybe not within our community. Discord will allow you to keep that all separate. So it's privacy in terms of like your personal use of it, not necessarily privacy of the actual platform. And the third one is like more of a possibility that we're going to explore. But we're going to look into like if there's automations that we
Mm,
can implement on the back end that will allow us to do things like automatically put new, like when someone registers, like automatically add them to the server or automatically add them to certain channels or show channels if they've signed up for a show. So that is like put a potential category of
mm.
features that I'm really excited about and Meryl is really excited about. Yeah.
You mentioned it reminded me the streaming and like video calling and stuff. And I actually just remembered when I lived in Pittsburgh, I used to work for a murder mystery dinner theater. And we used to use Discord to like hop on video calls and run lines and stuff. So it's definitely a feature worth looking
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
Will creative teams still manage slash moderate show specific channels once AWT creates them, or does that responsibility change?
Yeah, the intention is that it will be the same as before. And the reason why I'm phrasing my answer that way is like we still have to actually, or I still have to look into like,
Mm,
will it actually work as intended? And if it doesn't, like, what is the workaround so that it is still in the spirit of like, this is the show channel and it is, primarily like the stage manager who will oversee it with creative team participation. So in terms of like the spirit behind it, like there's no intention to change that. And it will just be a matter of me working with, a few folks who have volunteered to help me out with it, making sure that some of these features stay the same. Also, like it's a great, I mean, the reason why I love doing this episode is like these are all the questions, like these questions are basically like giving me a checklist of like things
yeah.
to make sure like we keep top of mind so
Mhm.
that it's great to be aware of what is, on the minds of the community members who will be affected by this.
Will we? Oh, I thought I skipped one, but I didn't. Never mind. Delete this, Ellen, in the future. Will, maybe, I probably won't. I love
Future
not
Ellen.
deleting things like this.
Yeah.
Will we be able to make our own chats if we are interested? Parentheses, cast chats, cast party planning chats, etc.
Yeah, once again, the intention is yes. It might be like a private channel like on our server, but also like once you become a user of Discord, like you can make friends on Discord.
Mhm.
You can do whatever you want. The intention is absolutely yes.
Will show photos be shared through Discord, or will those albums still be on Facebook? Do photos lose fidelity when uploaded to Discord like they do on Facebook? Parentheses, assuming Discord handles photos at all.
So I don't know if Discord handles photos, and I'm not going to find out because we have a different solution that is already somewhat implemented. So all of our photos in the highest resolution possible exist on our Google Drive. So we are actually going to start to create directories, like
Mm.
directories to all the different albums through Canva and post that on our website. And like we'll probably still post like a handful of photos on Facebook just because we also need them for our marketing purposes. Like our Facebook presence isn't going down to zero. We're going to maintain our business page, which is actually where our photos live, but we're no longer going to put our entire albums on there. So they will now be available on our Google Drive and linked to from like an ever updating Canva directory.
Discord does handle photos, so you can still share beams, guys. Don't worry about it. This next one was a duplicate, so if this isn't your specific question, it still is. How will the show specific threads groups servers work in concert with the wider community server? Will show servers be private, similar to the current private Facebook groups?
So from what I understand, there's one server. It's the Afterwork Theater server. I mean, and I know this is just a matter of nomenclature and probably
Mhm.
like this is what the person meant, but there's one Afterwork Theater server that is private and will be invitation only, or we have to accept people into it. And that is the server itself is probably the parallel to the Facebook community group, like the
Mhm.
Afterwork community group. And then within the Afterwork server, there will be different channels for shows organized in some way that makes sense. Maybe it's by
Mhm.
season, maybe it's by year, maybe it's by program type. Don't know yet, but there will be an individual
Mhm.
channel. I think that's the right
Yes.
word. Channel for each individual show, much like there is a Facebook group for each individual show. So currently on Facebook, it's like the community group is a group and the show groups are groups and they're the same. But
Mhm.
in Discord, it'll be more like a nested situation, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. And so within the Afterwork server, there will probably be like a general chat, like
Mhm.
general community chat. And there might be more than one if they're topical. Like maybe there's a channel, this is all TBD in terms of the way we're going to design it, but like maybe promotions, like, hey,
Mhm.
maybe promotions get their own channel so that people who really just want to like network or whatever, or just have fun times, like it stays in one channel. Or maybe there's a channel for social events, or maybe Vinny gets a channel for mid-season mixers. I don't know. The
The
world is our
mid-season
oyster,
mixer.
and there's almost a lot more flexibility to it because it feels a little bit less formal to set up a
Mhm.
channel than it does to create a group, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Because I think I mean, yeah, sure, as we, finish up seasons, some of those show groups they dwindle in terms of activity, but they're just still there. But like I think like channels have a way of being sunsetted a little
Mhm.
bit more easily in terms of like how people regard them and interact with them. But there will be a few evergreen like main channels that I think would be most comparable to our community group.
Mhm.
Did that answer the question?
It did.
I've talked long enough where I forget what the question was. So
It did answer the question. I will add on that because this person asked if the show server or channels will be private, like the private Facebook groups. I assume the answer is yes.
yeah, yeah,
Because that's something you could do on Discord, just to
yeah.
clarify.
And thank you for chiming in, Ellen. Please continue to do so because
Yeah.
you've been actively using Discord in a very parallel way. So
Yeah, it kind of like
I appreciate your
serendipity a little
input.
bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Who will moderate the larger community server? How is that being decided?
So the server will be moderated by the AWT staff and
Mhm.
primarily Anya as our community liaison,
Mhm.
but all staff will have probably like advanced accessibility and admin rights to the server, and maybe also like Harsha as one of our board members. So it'll be decided by who works for Afterward Theater.
Right. Right, right. This next one, less of a question, more of a suggestion, but I like this suggestion, so I'm gonna read
No,
it.
I like it too, and because
Yeah,
I know what it is, but let's hear
yeah.
it.
This is more of a suggestion, but I remember that at least when I joined AWT, I didn't know there was a general community Facebook page. It would be nice if there was some kind of onboarding welcome to AWT email or something for newbies that shared resources like the community page. Or if that's too complicated, putting a link to it in launch day emails too.
Yeah, I agree. I think to this day, like we don't have like a formal process for telling people
Hmm.
like there's a community group. It might be in like one email template that is an autoresponder or like from the stage managers. That doesn't mean everybody sees it, and it's also not their fault if they don't. So I agree to having like more visibility into it. all of that being said, like if you're since the way people get in is usually through their show group first,
Hmm.
and then they learn about the community group. If that continues to happen with Discord, I do believe because like once you're in the server, you'll be able to see the general discussion. So for
Yeah.
one thing, there will be visibility that exists
Yeah.
in Discord that doesn't exist in the current structure of Facebook groups. And two, I would love to just like add more, like maybe in the org docs, we have a resources doc that just lists, well, in the future, it'll be like, here's how you get on a Discord.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you
Totally.
for the suggestion,
Yeah, I
anonymous
remember
user.
when it was Dark Side of Disney was my first show. And I remember after that, someone came up to me and was like, "Are you doing Shrek?" And I was like, "Doing what? Like, what are you talking about?" And she was like, "You're not in the group." And I was like, "No, the group."
Yeah,
Um, so I see where this is coming from.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think Discord is a good way to like get everyone in
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
yeah. Right, this is our last question. I'm totally new to Discord. Will there be a guide or something to help me make the switch?
Yeah. Okay. In my dream world, there are guides. There's like video how-tos.
Mm.
There are like Discord ambassadors who like will raise their hand to like have like one-on-one chats with people who are having trouble. Like it's the part of the intention behind this is also like inclusivity and accessibility, which
Mhm.
seems like a weird thing to say considering like I think probably the percentage of people in our community who have Discord is probably pretty low. But
Mhm.
it is free. You don't it is does not dependent on you being a subscriber to anything else. So it's really, really, really important to me that we make onboarding and the accessibility of this platform really, really easy and streamlined. And I would love to like migrate everyone over. So in a previous life, I worked in marketing for
Mhm.
startups, and like I have had to take part in, customer migrations to new email service providers. And I'm treating this like that. I'm
Mhm.
treating this like that kind of service level and that kind of information. So the answer is yes, there will be
Mhm.
guides. We're not just going to expect everybody to like adopt this immediately without problem. We know that different people have, different levels of experience with technology, and we want to, honor that and,
Mhm.
accommodate accordingly.
Well, that does it for our community questions. Amanda, do you have an AWT myth to bust? Oh, the face says no.
You know what? I do. I
Oh,
do. You have
okay.
inspired this myth to bust.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it in the context of the current afterward community group, but that's just a tool. Like when we move, it's the same thing. But like the intention is that we are a community that supports each other like when you're in shows together and supports each other outside of that. So I get questions all the time. I'll get this question from like a board member. Like, is it okay if I post in the group about
Mm.
XYZ? The answer is almost always going to be yes. Like it would have to be like a pretty I couldn't even come up with an example of what I would say no to, because the
Hmm.
thing is like you own the community as much as myself or the organization. So you're just going to own what you put out there. So put it out there. Now, are there a few guidelines like we don't want to spam people, like we don't
Hmm.
want to bully people? Sure. But like you got something in your life that you're proud of or you need help with or you want to brag about, like post it.
Hmm.
Post it. You don't have to ask me. I mean, I appreciate when
Noted.
people do, but like, yeah. And like I said, like I said in my response to you today, Ellen, like there will be certain things like I'm not going to take down, but I might judge you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like anybody else in the community might judge
Hmm.
you for what you're doing. But like I won't take it down unless it
Yeah.
breaks one of our actual rules that are posted publicly in the group.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Cool. Ugh, could have used that myth buster at 9 a.m. this morning. Anyway, all right. Well, that's all we have. Thank you, Amanda,
Well, thank you,
for
Ellen.
answering questions.
It was my
And
pleasure.
Yeah, of course. Thank everyone else for sending questions. Ooh, if you have topic ideas, give them to me, please.
Yeah. Oh, also one thing I want to add, I also I want to thank you, Ellen, and I want to thank
Mm,
everyone who submitted questions. If this chat like brought up new questions for people, like please let me know whether it's in the comments on
mm,
the YouTube link or the posts that's probably going to go on Facebook, or just
mm.
email me, because I need, I really want to know what to focus on in like when we do this migration and we put like documentation together. So please, please, please let me know if you have any other questions. And if you're a Discord power user and you would like to join the group of folks who are interested in helping out with this migration, also please let me know.
Yes. Great.
Yay.
Cool. All right. Bye. Wait, I'll put the song. I'll
Bye.
put the song. Bye.
Ellen explains it all.